Logo 3 or textbook rotation? If you could only pick one, which actually brings fans back tomorrow night. Watch this. A pull-up from the logo with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Switch to a weak side stunt and recover that erases a layup without a single jump. 2 plays. Same score swing, different dopamine. Which one grows the WNBA? Here's the promise. I'm not giving you a hot take. I'm giving you footage, numbers, and a mini experiment you can run in your head. By the end, you'll know why the answer isn't either or and how the people who package the game, teams, broadcasts, creators, can feed both the brains and the butterflies of W Hoops. We're rolling receipts on screen the whole way. Quick vocabulary check so we don't talk past each other. When I say fundamentals, I mean the quiet superpowers, footwork that gets you square, the low man tag on a roll, the early help the helper, box outs that happen while the shot is still leaving the hand. And flash is the stuff you text your group chat. Logo threes, no-look lasers, chase down blocks, ankles evaporating on a cross. If you've ever yelled sheesh at a TV, you know exactly what I mean. Why this matters right now? The W is exploding. 2024 regular season attendance jumped 48% to 2.35 million, with an average crowd just under 10,000 and a league record 154 sellouts. That's not a bump, that's a surge. And that surge didn't stop. On TV this season, ABC ESPN's WNBA package hit another record, averaging 1.3 million viewers, and the opener between Chicago and Indiana peaked at 2.7 million, an all-time high for an ESPN W game. You heard that right. The biggest audiences are showing up even with star absences. The product is sticky. It's not just bigger, it's different. The audience is skewing younger, with under 35 viewership spiking year over year, and men making up a majority on ESPN and ION, while black viewers still watch at far higher proportions than their share of the US population. Translation? The tent got bigger and broader, so the way we show the game matters more than ever. Here's my hypothesis, and tell me I'm wrong in the comments. Fans want flash that proves fundamentals, and fundamentals that produce flash. In other words, if you show me the cause, the effect hits harder. And if you show me the effect, I'll stick around for the cause. Before we prove it, quick poll for you to drop in the comments while we roll film. You only get one tonight. High IQ basketball that teaches you something, or a highlight you'll replay 5 times. Put IQ or hype below, and I'll tell you how our little A/B test plays out by the end. Case 1. The quiet swing that wins the game. Watch Asia Wilson at the nail. Full speed first. Now freeze. See that inside foot angle? She's already got her hips turned to discourage middle. As the ball swings, she tags the roller early, recovers without crossing her feet, and meets the layup with verticality. No windmill block. No poster. 2 points erased. That's fundamentals. And it scales. Asia didn't just win MVP, she was the league's second ever unanimous choice in 2024 while setting career highs across the board. You call it boring. I call it the bedrock of a dynasty. Let's grab the other end of the spectrum. Roll the clip. Deep pull-up from the parking lot or a cross-court dart that catches a shooter in rhythm. Freeze. Under the hood are micro skills you can't unsee once you notice them. Inside foot prep on the step back, screen angle on Spain action, passer's window timed half a beat before the cutter clears tag help. Caitlin Clark and Sabrina Ionescu don't just wing it, they engineer the space for those wow moments. And like it or not, those moments travel. ABC ESPN's WNBA audience hit a new high this year, and the biggest game of the season was a Clark game. You can roll your eyes at the discourse, but the graph doesn't lie. Now, flash meets force. Angel Reese grabs an offensive board in traffic. We see the second jump, the swim move, the seal, then the putback, plus the and one stare. That play lives twice, once on the scoreboard, again on your timeline. And Reese is not just a viral moment, she's an economic signal. She dropped a signature shoe with Reebok this fall, the Angel Reese 1, and it sold out at launch. That's not vibes, that's velocity.
So what do fans actually want? Depends which fan. The purist wants the why, the set name, the counter, the spacing. The scroller wants the punchline in 12 seconds. The hybrid wants the story that earns the punchline. And yes, data backs this up. About a third of engaged global fans aged 18 to 24 prefer highlights to full games, while separate surveys show most sports fans still watch live and stick with games through the end. You can dislike that tension, you can't ignore it. Here's the science of showing it: quick and practical. Tight shots sizzle, wide shots teach. Coaches love tactical or panoramic angles because you can see tags, stunt and recover chains, and weak side exchanges. Broadcast cams sell drama, tactical cams show structure. If you want your viewer to learn a set, pull out for the why, then snap back in for the wow. Even tech researchers modeling broadcast cameras argue that capturing the full geometry, the lens distortion, the wide registration, changes what you can measure and therefore what viewers can perceive. Let's run a mini experiment. I'm going to describe the same possession twice. Cut A, you hear the crowd swell, you see the shake dribble into a step back three, text overlay says logo range with a couple of spicy emojis, and we're out in 12 seconds. Cut B, we start wide, circle the back screen on the Spain pick and roll, slow-mo the inside foot start, then run the same pull-up full speed. Which cut makes you want to watch the next possession? A or B? Drop A or B. I'm not trying to trick you. I'm testing whether the context buys your attention for the next clip. If it does, fundamentals just fed flash. Okay, team case study. New franchise, no number one pick savior, still a madhouse every night. The Golden State Valkyries just finished their debut season, selling out all 22 home games and setting all-time W attendance records, averaging over 18,000 at Chase Center. They didn't ride one hype star to do it. They sold a system and a culture, and fans responded. All-time WNBA total and average attendance records for a club in year one. That's proof that identity, rotations, defense, 5 as 1 can be a product.
If you're thinking, sure, but highlights are the growth engine, I'll meet you halfway. Because here's a sneaky secret. The more you teach the latter, the causal chain from screen angle to advantage to shot, the bigger the wow plays feel. I call it the flash proves fundamentals ladder. You'll see it once, then you'll see it everywhere. For example, weak side exchange lifts the low help. Screener flips the angle to pin the hip. Ball handler preps the inside foot. Defense is late by 6 inches. And that's your ankle snatch or 3-ball. The wow is the fruit. The fundamentals are the roots. Let's make this practical for people who package the W. If you're a creator, every highlight gets one sentence of mechanism. Inside foot first. Screen flips 0.5 beats early. Passing window opens. If you're a team social admin, alternate tight to wide to replay with telestration in 12 to 20 seconds, so both the scroller and the purist get fed. If you're on the broadcast, name the action before the play, Spain twist, then telestrate the weak side responsibility after. That's not nerding it up, that's giving the casual fan a hook, so the next clip hits harder. Why am I harping on packaging? Because the fan base is literally changing under our feet. Nielsen's 2025 report says the WNBA fanbase grew more than 31% in 2 years, and the League Zone Impact report shows under 35 viewership soaring alongside social growth and sellouts. If you're still producing for the 2018 audience, you're leaving growth on the table. Package for the room you actually have, not the room you imagine. Let's talk business horizon, the stakes behind all this. Expansion is here. The league added the Golden State Valkyries in 2025 and heads to 18 teams with Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia coming online, plus Canada's Toronto Tempo debuting in 2026. More markets mean more windows to convert casuals into regulars, and the blend of Flash and Fundamentals is the conversion tool. Flash gets them in the door, Fundamentals get them season tickets.
Back to the court for a second, because I can already hear the objections. Fundamentals are boring. Cool. Tell that to a verticality save at the rim that's worth exactly the same as a step back on the scoreboard, and often more in leverage. Flash is empty calories. Really. The single biggest W audience of the year was a flash-driven matchup, and it didn't scare away the purists. It gave them more tape to study tomorrow. The trick is to braid them. Let's prove the braid in one possession. Watch the Liberty run a Spain variation. Horns entry, fake DHO to bait the top lock, back screen on the roller creates a traffic jam, weak side exchange pulls the low man up, and now the handler has two options. Hit the roll early for the simple 2, or take the step back the defense just seated by 6 inches. If the 3 drops, Twitter goes nuts. But the reason it drops is the 2 earlier fundamentals, screen angle and timing. Teach those, and every highlight becomes a lesson that keeps people watching. And there's a psychological kicker. When viewers learn one clean mechanic, inside foot first, low man tag, stunt and recover, they start hunting for it in the next clip. That hunt is attention. That attention is retention. That retention is the business. Surveys even suggest most fans who are watching live stick through the final whistle, and younger fans who are clip first by habit will still stay if the packaging pays off the why behind the wow. You don't win a war with either a sizzle reel or a chalk talk. You win it with both. I want to circle back to Asia for one more beat because she's the perfect counterexample to the fundamentals are boring myth. Her 2024 season was historic. Career highs, 1,000+ points, unanimous MVP, and watch how many of those clips are actually quiet footwork masterclasses. Shoulder square without traveling, 2 steps taken like a metronome, early tag without fouling. You start seeing the scaffolding and suddenly the simple post score is stunning. That's fundamentals that feel like Flash.
And I'll give Flash its flowers with Sabrina and Caitlin one last time. That logo 3, it's not YOLO. It's hours of footwork reps that let you hit your inside foot clean into your gather, get your shoulders back to the rim, and release without drifting. That cross-court dime, it's a pre-read off help positioning that started 2 passes earlier. Teach those 2 ingredients in 10 seconds with a telestrated replay, and a million casuals become curious. The ratings tell you curiosity is already there. The packaging decides whether it sticks. For teams and leagues, the off-court signals are flashing green. Socials are up, merch is up, jersey sales for rookies exploded. And league average attendance, sellouts, and under 35 viewing all soared in 2024. The point isn't to drown you in numbers, it's to say the market just rewarded a season where flash and fundamentals were both on display nightly. If you're a marketer or a coach, the strategy writes itself. Pair every wow with a why. For creators and producers, here's your 3-rule toolkit you can steal right now. 1. Every clip gets its mechanic. 1 sentence, plain English. 2. Alternate tight and tactical angles whenever possible. Wide to teach, tight to thrill. 3. Name the set before it runs so the viewer feels smart when it works. Those 3 moves take you from scroll by to save to playlist. If you're skeptical, think about the Valkyries one more time. No megastar debut, yet a building that roared every night and a league record attendance mark in year 1. They sold an us, not a me. They sold a system that anyone could recognize by the 3rd home game. Sometimes the strongest flash is a team identity that makes defense feel like fireworks. I'll also say this for the culture piece because it matters. When players become culture, it lifts the whole tide. Angel Reese showing up at the Met Gala, filing me bounds, and then dropping a signature shoe that sells out. Those are pop signals. Pop signals expand the circle of casuals who then show up on a Friday night, hear a commentator explain low man tag, and suddenly know what to watch. That pipeline is real, and you can build it on purpose.
All right, the A/B test. If you picked cut A, the raw highlight, you're not wrong. We're all human. The sizzle hits. But when we run these edits side by side on socials, cut B, the quick Y followed by the wow, tends to outperform in completion and in watch next behavior, especially among hybrid fans. That's consistent with what leagues and sponsors are seeing. Short form is an on-ramp, but when you add a nugget of understanding, people spend more time and money. You're not choosing hype or IQ, you're choosing the order. Teach, then thrill. Thrill, then teach. Repeat. Zooming out, the W's next chapter is already writing itself. More teams, more windows, more stars crossing over in the mainstream culture. And the data says younger, broader audiences are showing up. If you're in the room, coach, player, editor, broadcaster, you have a lever most sports never get, a league in growth mode with a fan base eager to be taught while being entertained. Pull both ends of the rope. Here's my take with all the receipts on the table. Give me the possession that teaches and the finish that trends.
Give me the step that buys 6 inches and the clip that gets 6 million views. Give me the low man tag that no one cheers and the logo 3 that makes everyone gasp. Fans don't want a false choice. They want the braid. And if we show it right, wide for the why, tight for the wow, they'll come back tomorrow and the next day and the next. So tell me in the comments, IQ or hype? And if you want me to break down the 3 actions every W team runs and exactly how to package them so both the purist and the scroller are happy, that's our next one. I'll bring the telestrator, you bring the takes.